Hello, today I thought I would show you how I finish off and frame my works on board. So these are mixed media boards, and I often collage in monoprint on tissue paper, and then I draw onto them and I paint onto them as well. So what you can do is seal them and finish them and frame them up without glass. And I'm just going to show you how I do that now. If you're interested in how I work, you can subscribe to the channel. You can look at my website, ruthander.co.uk, and you can also follow me on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook. I'm at ruthanderprints on all of them. Thanks for watching. Okay, so these are the boards that I've been working on, and you can see here they're a real mixture of things. This here is monoprint on tissue paper, and that I've collaged onto the piece with acrylic medium. I've got some sort of a photographic collage here as well. I've stamped and printed into the board itself and drawn on top of it. This is acrylic paint. I've drawn little bits into it, and this bit here is a little drawn bit. It's actually the silhouette of a sculpture on Oldborough Beach, which is what these are inspired by. And here again, very similar. I've got the photographic collage, the monoprint collage, the stamping. This is actually printing onto the board, like drawing onto the back of a piece of paper to create line marks. And then I've also got some drawn elements here as well. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is fix the drawing elements. And I'm just going to use some colourless fixative here. This is Daler Rowney, but you can get this kind of thing from lots of different companies. Bit of a shake, and I'm just going to just go over the drawn elements so that when I seal it with my medium, which is what I'm going to use, it doesn't run all over the place and streak all over the place. So that's my first start. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually just give the back of the boards a once over with some white acrylic paint, just to cover up any marks that I've made on the backs of them. And I do that very simply. You could use probably some emulsion for this, or some, it doesn't have to be expensive paint. And I'm just giving it a once over so that we've got a nice clear and clean back, because the frames I'm going to be using are open at the back. So the next thing we're going to do is actually seal the boards with some medium. This is acrylic medium. I'm just going to squeeze some on and then gently spread it out over the board. And because I've sealed the drawing elements, they shouldn't run, that's it, as I put this over. And what this does is it just completely isolates what's on the board from whatever I'm going to put over next. And I'm actually going to put some cold wax over next, cold wax medium. So you can see that this shows up a little bit when you're putting it on, but when it's dry, it is completely clear. Just checking if things dry, yeah. And it seals in the paper elements, seals in the drawing elements, just seals everything really. So I'm just going to put a fairly even, thin-ish layer on that, and then I will let that dry. Okay, so the next stage is adding some cold wax medium onto the pieces. And I'm actually going to use a lint-free cloth here, and you can get these from sort of ironmongers and hardware shops. Just stops any little hairs getting into it. And I'm just taking a little bit of the wax and then gently applying it, and this will make it kind of waterproof and really sealed in, so that it shouldn't be any problems with damp if it's in a slightly damp environment or anything like that. Essentially, it's what you can use with oil paint, so it's going to kind of make it, I suppose, a little bit like an oil painting, and obviously you can frame oil paintings without any glass in front. They are sealed. So I'm just going to make sure that the whole thing is covered, and then I'm going to leave that for a few hours, probably, to sort of completely dry so it's not tacky anymore. So the next thing I do, and I've actually left these overnight to really let that wax dry completely. And the next thing I'm going to do is just give it a little buff over with one of these little micro cloths, just to bring up any little shade. It's not going to be really shiny, it's not going to be glossy, it's just going to bring up any little bit of sort of satin shine, I suppose. And you can check that against the light, just gives it a nice little patina. So that is basically how I seal my mixed media and collage boards. Okay, so this is all sealed and waxed now, and the last thing that I do is put it into a frame. So this is actually just a very simple frame that I've ordered online, and it comes with these little Velcro corners. I just slot it in there, and there we go. All done, and it looks great, I think.